Alrighty, let's take a look at 4 China-made buck slip joints. I have a bunch of the USA-made buck slip joints and I love them. Great quality, a lot of history there. But recently I've been kind of collecting the China-made bucks, and I've been really impressed on the fit and finish and quality that they put out. So I'm gonna get these 3 out of here so we can focus on one knife at a time. And the first one is pretty much a standard large Stockman pattern. And this is a buck 371 Stockman. I got this one used off eBay for around like $15 or $16, but you can find these brand new for around $25 on eBay or any other website. Buck's website lists it at like 30 or 31, so I don't recommend you getting it off their website because they're priced higher. But you have your your bone covers. It's kind of like a jigged bone with those steel liners, so no brass liners, kind of like Rough Rider does. You see that crack right there? I bought it like that, so I'm not sure if that came like that in the factory. I doubt it. But I thought it was in pretty good shape and a good representation of what Buck offers. But like I said, just your standard Stockman pattern with that clip point blade. And one reason I love Buck is because they date all their knives since 1986. So this one is a 2019, and you can tell by that little blade symbol right there, or yeah, blade stamp, which is kind of cool. So you can search for specific years. So if you wanted a 1990 Buck, you can just type that in eBay, and then a bunch of Buck knives made in 1990 will pop up. So I really like that. It's cool. There's no half stops on these knives. Get your sheep's foot. And another thing is Buck, they stamp all their China symbols on, so they're not etched on. I think it's a nice little touch. I know some people don't like the China symbol and they rub it off, but you're gonna have a hard time rubbing this one off. You're gonna have to grind it down. I think it's kind of cool. And then you got your spay blade with nothing on it. And these are 420 J2 steel blades. And depending on what year you bought it, or what year it was made, either it's 420 HC or 420 J2. And this one, the clip point is 2 3/4 inches in length, and then the sheep's foot and spay blade are 2 inches. And it weighs 3.1 ounces. And these specs are coming right off Buck's website, so I'm assuming they're pretty accurate. So there's a Buck 371, pretty good knife. You know, walk and talk is good. On all these knives, walk and talk was great. Not too grindy or not too stiff. I was really impressed. And the inside was just, I mean, all I did was kind of wash it down, but they kind of, I feel like the inside's a little more polished than Rough Riders, in my opinion. And I'll show you on all the knives. They're all like that. They're really clean. They're not gritty. There's a Buck 371. And the next will be the Buck. Actually, no. I'm going to do the medium Stockman. The Buck 373 Trio. And I bought this one, I think last year when I was visiting family in Texas. And this is basically your medium Stockman, but you have the wood handles. And I like the grain on the wood. You can see the different rings. Very good. Smooth pins and shield. And again, all these have stainless steel liners. And this one, I think there's a little bit of raised liners and back springs that it's not like totally smooth, but I'm not too worried about that. But again, nice walk and talk. This one is from 2020. That clip point, spay blade, and then sheep's foot. There you go. And the main blade is 2.5 inches. The sheep's foot is 2 3/4, and then the spay blade is 1 11/16. And it comes in at 1.9 ounces, so a pretty light knife. But I really like the wood on this one. Very, very attractive. And these all have nickel silver bolsters, according to the website. So there's a trio. And then next up will be the Buck 379 Solo. This is a smaller knife, really compact, thin, single bladed. I got this one used off eBay for like $14, $13. These ones are pretty cheap. You can buy these new around like $15, $16. Got that single clip point blade. This one was made in 2011. The blade is 2.25 in length, and it weighs 0.9 ounces. It's a really, really light knife. But solid snap. I like that bone and the jigging. I think it looks really good. Yeah. No gaps. But I'm really impressed with these buck knives. A little off-centered. But I think the quality's there, and what you pay for them, I think it's a steal, you know? So here's the Buck 379 Solo. And then last is one of my favorites, or probably my favorite, is the Buck 389 Canoe. And just look at that bone, that coloring. It looks really good. Yeah, very attractive. And I like the slim profile of this Canoe. Pretty slim. And it's the same size as your Rough Rider canoes. I'll do a little comparison if you want. So here's a Rough Rider canoe. Next to the Buck, pretty much twinsies. Yeah. But on this guy, you have that spear point blade, and this one is from 2019. Again, 420 J2 steel. And this has a 2.5-inch blade for the main blade. And your pen blade is 1 7/8 in length. Got a little bit of oil right there. I did buy this one new. It came in clam packaging. Really impressed with this knife. I carried it maybe once or twice. But like I was saying earlier, I think that they did a really good job on the insides of the knife. Pretty polished. I didn't do anything to this knife. I think I just cleaned out the edges and put some grease in it, but the inside I didn't touch. It's pretty polished, clean. I'm impressed. But there's the Buck knives. I really like them. Very good, inexpensive knives. All these you can get new for under $25 each. Got this one for like 20 bucks. I'm not sure if I mentioned that. Really cool. And they come in different variations. I know Buck, they don't come out with new patterns really at all. I think they have like maybe like 10 different Chinese made patterns, and they don't do anything crazy. So they're not really changing the scales or different blades. They don't experiment kind of like Rough Rider does. They're pretty traditional, Buck is. So nothing too crazy, but they're really nice knives. I like them. So there you have it. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope you enjoyed the candy corn. I love candy corn. I know some people hate it. But one of my viewers, Susan S., she requested candy corn, and I kind of did this for that viewer, Susan S. All right. Thank you. Thanks for stopping by.